Welcome to South Florida Saltwater Fishing. I'm Heath and it's Tips and Tricks Thursday. Alright folks, in this Tips and Tricks episode, I'm going to go over the sheer power, effectiveness, and versatility of the slow pitch jig. Before we get into this though, if you want to learn more about fishing, grow as an angler, or just see some great and exciting offshore fishing adventures, you can start by hitting the subscribe button. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that you won't miss a thing. Okay, so to start out, I get questioned a lot. Hey, slow pitch jigging, is it effective? Does it work? What's the difference between slow pitch jigging and vertical jigging? Why is it so popular? Why does everybody say it catches so much fish? What is so special about slow pitch jigging? Let me set the scenario for you. Went out the other day and I used this specific jig right here. What this is this is a 200-gram jig from the company Jyg, J-Y-G. It's a limited edition, black and silver, and I have it hooked up with 4 5/0 hooks. 2 sets of double hooks on either end, and they've got little sort of green mylar strips. What happened was I headed out of the inlet, and it was the afternoon. I said, all right, I'm going to go slow pitch jigging. The bite's kind of slow doing anything else. Set up on the spot in about 200 feet. Drop down. Very first drop. Got the hook up after a couple of pulls. Was winding it up. Lots of head shakes. I said, let me try and guess. Maybe a bonita, maybe a tuna, something. Doesn't feel giant, but it's a fish. I'll take it. Got it up to the boat, and what it was a totally unexpected catch of 2 mutton snappers at one time on the same jig. Blew my mind. So what I'm going to do right now is take you out on a boat with me and roll that footage for you so that you can see how effective slow pitch jigging is for yourself. Okay folks, so we headed out of Boca Inlet just to the north. I want to try and do some afternoon slow pitch jigging. I want to start out in around 200 feet. What I'm going to be fishing with to start out with is a 200 limited edition silver and black jig from the company Jyg. All right, so we're ready. We're going to drop out, fire her down to the bottom, let loose, see if there's anyone out there. Now, I know I've got a fairly strong current and a good 5-10 knot wind coming from the east, so my line is definitely going to telescope out. So I'm going to be doing lots of pulling back and letting the jig fall straight back down. Pulling back, letting the jig fall straight back down, which is no problem. That is, you're always dealing with different elements when it comes to figuring out what's going on with your drift for slow pitch jigging. All right, just made ground contact. Gonna come tight, give it a couple pulls. Remember, slow pitch jigging is bottom fishing. You don't want to go too far up from the bottom unless you're in the mood for fishing that whole water column. Always try to go back down and check that ground, see what's down there. That's what slow jigging is, essentially, is you're trying to entice a fish at rest to eat. Never want to wind on the fall. That's when the jig's fluttering down and doing its thing. You want to wind and load your rod. Oh, and we just got hooked up right there. There we go, first fish. There it is, gotta love it. Always great when you get a hookup on that first drop. It means we're in a good spot, and more than likely, you know, we can go back to it. Coming up, bunch of head shakes. Might be a false albacore, might be a little tuna. Speculation is part of the game when you're fishing, having a little bit of fun, doing some slow jigging. All right, he's starting to turn on his side, put his shoulders into it. We're getting closer. Here comes our fish. See him? See what we got. And it looks like, we got 2 mutton snappers. Look at this. That's crazy. 2 mutton snappers on 1 jig. versatility and the power of slow pitch jigging. All right, folks, so there you have it. 2 fish, 1 jig. And especially mutton snapper, which are kind of picky and finicky, for them to both attack the same jig and get reeled up like that, they must have been triggered by some sort of feeding frenzy mechanism where they both saw the fish and took the opportunity of the easy target that the slow pitch jig provides. So, if you've ever had any doubts whether or not slow pitch jigging is really worth it, really effective, really gets the job done in times of slow fishing, there's your proof right there. 2 mutton snappers on 1 jig. That about says it all. Alright folks, that about does it for this episode. I hope you had fun, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you've been made a believer out of the power, the versatility, and the effectiveness of slow pitch jigging. Till next time, South Florida saltwater fishing, going wherever the cool wind takes us.